welcome back to my channel. If you have not already subscribed, please do so like right now. But today is my very first story time video. I'm so excited, you guys, because this video is a little crazy. It's about the time that my ex-boyfriend's dad ruined my date. So I'm just gonna go ahead and get into it. Alright, so just to give you guys a little bit of history behind it. My ex and I, we have been broken up for like 8 or 7 months during this time when I started talking to other guys. And during the time of me, you know, mingling and exploring my horizons, I came across a guy who I really liked, and he was really sweet and really thoughtful. Actually, he has to be like one of the most thoughtfulest guys that I've ever dated or talked to, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, he's like the most thoughtful guy ever. But anyways, back to the story. Okay, so the story took place on Valentine's Day of last year. And my date, he called me and he was like, you know, Ariana, we're going to go somewhere. You know, be ready around, I'm just going to say 8 o'clock. So I was like, okay, where are we going? And he was like, well, I'm not going to tell you, you know, just be ready. So I'm like, you know, okay, I'll be ready. And so 8 o'clock comes and I go outside, you know, and he opens up the car door, he lets me in and everything. And so we're riding around and I'm like, you know, looking like, oh, okay, where are we going? So we end up at this Mexican restaurant, and I absolutely love Mexican food. Like, I love food in general, but Mexican is like one of my favorites. So we pull up in the Mexican restaurant, and you know, I'm looking cute, you know, I have my little leather dress on and my hair did and my face beat, honey. I wasn't playing no games on Valentine's Day. We walk in the building, so everybody is looking and watching. You know, when we walked through the door, made a good impression on everybody. But so the waiter, he leads us to the middle of the store, and I wasn't really paying attention, but I could see that it was like a group, a really big group, and towards like the end, the back of the store, I mean the restaurant, towards the back of the restaurant, and we're sitting in the middle of the restaurant. And so you know, the waiter's like, he walks away, and so me and my date, we're just talking and everything, laughing, and like 10 minutes into the date, he's like, do you see that kid pointing at you? And I'm like, what kid? You know, I'm thinking that he's playing, but you know, like, he was so persistent about it, so I knew that he was telling the truth, but I didn't see a kid. And so he was like, you don't see that little boy that's, you know, pointing at you? Like, he's right there. And I was starting to get scared because I'm like, oh my God, like, is he seeing a ghost pointing at me? Because I don't see anything. Oh my God, I'm getting scared talking about it. But but yeah, so he was like, you know, you don't see the kid? And I'm like, no. And so, you know, I was scared. And you know, he stopped talking about it, and like 15 minutes later, I see this like group of kids walk past us, and I noticed that in the group of kids, it was my ex-boyfriend's little brother. And so I was like, hey, you know, I called his name, and he was walking and he was looking like, you know, like side-eyeing me, honey. Like, he gave me a real nasty side-eye. And so he was just side-eyeing me, and I'm like, ugh. You know, so I'm thinking, I'm like, oh my God, like, if his brother is here, then that means that his parents is here. And I said that to my date. I was like, if his brother's here, that means his parents is here. And he was like, okay, you know, I heard you the first time. And I was like, no, you don't understand. If his brother is here, then his parents is here, honey. And that means his daddy is going to come over here. And he was like, no, you really think so? And I was like, yes, because my ex-boyfriend's dad is like, he's really sweet and he's really outgoing, and he really doesn't care what he does or what he says. So like, really, he's just unpredictable. So you never know what's gonna happen, but he's really funny. And so, you know, the whole time I'm just like, oh my God, it's just a matter of time before he comes over here. And so like a couple of minutes later, he comes, and he's like, I see him walking, like, and he's a small man, so I see him walking, and then behind him is a really big, tall, muscular man. And so I'm like, oh my God. And he's like, hey, daughter-in-law. And I'm like, oh my God, like, why would he do that? And I'm on my date. Y'all, it was so crazy. And so, before I know it, he just slides into the booth with us. Yes, he slid right on in like it was nothing. Him and the uncle. And so, Lord. So, him and the uncle slides in. And his dad starts saying, so what you been up to, daughter-in-law? You know, how have things been and everything? And I'm like, oh my God, like, good, nothing on my date. And he's like, oh, okay, well, you know it's Valentine's Day, right? And I was like, yeah, that's why I'm here. And and he was like, oh, so you talked to and I was like, no. And he was like, oh, okay. You know, like, he literally stayed at the table having a conversation, a full conversation. Like, he had no intentions on getting up and leaving anytime soon at all. And so, meanwhile, I look over at my date, and he's like, looking real mad, you know, and I can't blame him because, like, I would be mad too. I would not even want anybody to be in that predicament. And so my date, he's just looking so mad, like he is on fire, and I can just tell. And the whole time I'm like laughing because I don't really know like what to do in a situation like that, you know, because I love his family, but we're not, you know, we're not together. So, you know, I'm gonna date other people. And he was just so mad, and I just felt so bad because he is so sweet. And out of all the guys that I've talked to, I wish that it wouldn't have been him because he's just so nice and he's so thoughtful. Like, he's like probably #1 out of all of the guys that I've dated. And I really just hate that that happened to him because, you know what, let me just give you guys like an example of the things that he used to do. So, he was so thoughtful. He like, one day he called me and he was like, you know, what are you doing? And I was like, I'm feeling so bad because I failed my test and everything. Like, I was having a meltdown. Like, I was like close to tears, like always. But anyway, so, you know, I was having my little meltdown about college and everything. And the next thing I know, he calls me and he's like, 10 minutes later, he calls me and he's like, Ariana, come outside. And, you know, so I'm like, okay. So I go out there and he's not there, but it's this really big bag of stuff and a box of Krispy Kreme donuts. And I'm like, oh my God, like, this is so sweet because anybody who knows me knows that I love Krispy Kreme donuts. Like, it's my favorite thing to eat. And so I go there, I go outside and I look through and everything, and you guys, like, it's so much more. Like, he will literally have you spoiled. But in my date, he was like, are we on a TV show? Like, I can't believe that just happened. Like, afterwards, he kind of laughs it off, but I can tell that he was still, you know, mad about it, which he had every right to be. But like, my main focus at that time was like, oh my God, like, I hope that his parents don't think that I cheated on him, because my ex would never tell his mom. Like, we've broken up like plenty of times before, but it was never like a really serious breakup. It was kind of just like, you know, off and on. But this time we were seriously off, like, you know, permanently. And I knew that he had a history of not telling his mom that we were broken up or whatever. So I was like, in my head, I'm like, oh my God, I hope they don't think that I'm cheating on him, because I'm not. Like, we're broken up. And I text him and I was like, your daddy just ruined my date and you need to let your parents know that we've been broken up for months now, so they won't think that I'm cheating on you. And he was like, they already know that we're not together, and good, he should have ruined your date. Yeah, he was mad, honey. But anyway, so yeah, that happened, and I still honestly to this day cannot believe that that happened to me, because it was just so bizarre. Like, it was crazy. And then afterwards, like, I went, like, right after when that happened, I got up and I called all my friends and I was like, y'all will not just believe what just happened. Like, my ex-boyfriend's dad just ruined my date, y'all. Like, seriously. He just came in, slid right on in like he was a part of the date. Like, serious, like, who does that? You know, but anyway, so like the next day I got a text from his mom, and she was like, we're not mad, we still like you, you know, you're still our girl, we know you know, that you guys broke up and this and that, we don't think bad of you. Because that was kind of like, I was like, they're gonna think that I cheated on you because you never tell them that we break up. So I mean, that because you never tell them that we broke up or whatever, so they're gonna think that I'm cheating on you. And you know, at the end, everything is kind of laughable now, but you know, kind of in the moment I was just really shocked and I couldn't do anything but laugh. But yes, you guys, that's my story time. I hope you enjoyed it. Please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Thanks for watching. Bye. This is really sparkling grape juice, honey. I just love walking around with this cup. It just makes me feel so fancy. So